We're Knights of the Round Table. We dance whenever we're able.
Oh, hello! Hello! And welcome to Good Gamers Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I am Sir Knight of Bajo.
And I am the Lady Hex, Master Archer of this realm.
And I am Darren, wizard, soothsayer, alchemist, and wizened sage.
Good morrow, Lady Hex. Good morrow, Wizard Darren.
How now, common carbuncle?
Common? Common? I think you'll find knights were anything but common. Look at my shiny tabard and my helmet and my sword.
Today we are celebrating all things medieval, a period in history 700 years old.
A time of swords and horses.
Kings and queens.
Castles and dungeons.
And this week on the show, we're going to have a look at Wreckateer. Knocking down some fine strongholds is the order of the day.
You're amazing. Hark!
Pray tell, wizard, what dost thou see in the flames of prophecy?
Alas, by my beard, I have a vision.
Go on, wizard.
I do foresee a great dumping.
Zounds, prithee tell us more.
Negative. The vision fades.
All right, well, shall we get on with the show?
Verily, off to the news.
That gets itchy. That gets itchy, Darren. I don't know how you do it with your metal head.
Lady Hex here with all the news from the medieval gaming world. A couple of keen submarine-loving gamers have gone to the extreme lengths of building an entire submarine simulator for the sole purpose of playing their own custom-designed submarine sim game. Built using salvaged metal parts, the submarine will actually rock and vibrate if hit by torpedoes fired by members of the public via the internet. Handles have to be pulled and valves turned in order to evade being hit, otherwise the players are sprayed with a large amount of water. Congratulations to Michelle Sigler, also known as Siglemic, for reclaiming the world record speed run time on Super Mario 64. The record attempt clocked all 120 stars in just 1 hour, 46 minutes and 23 seconds, almost 12 seconds faster than the previous record. Siglemic continues to play an original Japanese version of Super Mario 64 live over the internet daily, attempting to improve her time. An upcoming motion controller called the Leap for computers is claiming it will be 200 times more accurate than anything currently available. The Kinect-like device will be able to track 10 individual fingers down to 1/100th of a millimetre. And that is the news for this week. Verily.
Darren, check out this massive dent.
Did you get it in a sword fight?
Nah, I just dropped it.
Oh.
Oh, Lady Hex, she returneth.
Yes, shall we go forth with the review? For as long as there have been towers, people have been trying to knock them down, so we thought we'd check out two of the better tower destruction games. First up is Catapult King for iOS.
The Catapult was one of the most powerful siege engines in medieval times. It was capable of hurling huge projectiles at castle walls long before explosives were invented.
Catapult King is one of the better free iOS games around. The premise is simple. You simply launch boulders at enemies and their castles.
Before long, your arsenal will include special weapons like metal balls to bring down stone walls. And my favourite, the triple shot.
The strategy comes from trying to line up your catapult for that perfect shot.
I thought some of the stages were really clever, but then you get others which rely way too much on trial and error, such as the ones with thick walls.
Well, I didn't mind so much about those because you can always call in magical attacks. And magic is perfect for younger spawnlings who might struggle a bit with the tough bits.
Additional magic packs can be purchased as microtransactions, but I found I had enough of a magic stockpile from playing normally.
This is essentially Angry Birds 3D, but it looks great and I had a lot of fun with it, so I'm giving it 8.5.
Yeah, for a free game, it's pretty good. I'm giving it 7.5.
Next up, Wreckateer for Xbox Live. Wreckateer is a lot like Catapult King, except the castles are bigger and you're using the Connect to guide your wrecking balls.
Oh, what a shot! Oh, she's flying. X is flying.
One good thing I will say about the game is it's very easy to get into. Loading and aiming your ballista is spot on.
Yeah, and it's got that satisfying click when it's loaded. I love that.
There is an impressive range of munitions to aid your destruction. Bouncers can demolish frontline fortifications. Chain shots are perfect for groups of thin towers. Speed shots can hit hard and reach targets, and explosive charges deal out maximum damage. By far the best are the flying shots, though.
That's awesome.
Don't choke.
Nice shot! It's quite difficult
Good, yeah.
in this helmet.
Good start, though. Good start.
I did not have fun with this game. For a start, it makes you watch all of your missed shots sail slowly off into the distance. It's a bit demoralizing. And it's over.
It's over, Badger.
It's over. While the shots are in flight, you can nudge them with your hands, but I was always accidentally bumping them the wrong way with my backswing.
Oh, you knocked it back.
I can't say much for their physics engine either. I frequently demolish the majority of a structure, only to watch it stand there, defying all laws of gravity. The towers in Catapult King would often teeter precariously before crumbling, but there's none of that subtlety in Wreckateer. Very disappointing.
Well, I agree the game has its problems, but I think younger spawnlings will really enjoy waving their arms around a lot more than using a touchscreen, so I'm giving it 6.
I didn't like it at all, and I just felt it wasn't precise enough, and Catapult King was much more fun, so I'm giving it 4.5.
Well, now it's time to fend off the slings and arrows, or at least the questions, in ye olde ask good game.
Oh yes, to the desk with us!
To the desk we go!
Be careful! I'm pretty sure I saw a troll in the goods lift.
Well, my lady, we shall hither thee to the old inbox, where we may respond to thou oft questions.
Yes, let's answer some questions.
Indeed.
I think.
Yeah.
We'll start with this one from Link's twin in Noobsville, Western Australia.
Actually, do you mind if I just take this off?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Hex and Barjo. I was wondering if you could tell me why it says LEGO Universe closed when I try to make a LEGO Universe account. Please answer, or I will never know and I might even become a noob. P.S. What does D.A.R.R.E.N stand for? Please answer. Oh, and Hex, 99,999% awesome. And Barjo, you're 99,999% awesome. D.A.R.R.E.N, kind of a noob because he has pasta scoopers as hand. Bye, Link's twin. Ah!
Well, Link's twin, the reason...
Barjo, I draw the line with the medieval special. You cannot be Batman. There was no Batman in medieval times.
I think you find there was one in medieval times, Hex. What do they call Batman? What do they call him?
The Dark Knight.
They call him the Dark Knight.
Okay.
The Dark Knight of the Gotham table.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll let it pass.
Yeah.
Let it pass.
I will take it off, though, because it is a bit sweaty underneath. The chainmail and everything all together.
All right, well, Link's twin, the reason it says that is because LEGO Universe was closed down completely in January of this year. And they said the reason was because they simply didn't have enough subscribers to keep the game up and running.
But then again, they only ever let us Aussies play the demo and blocked us from signing up to a proper membership, so it's not a huge loss since we never had access to the full game anyway, so we didn't know what we could have had, Hex. We did not have it, we just had a taste.
It's always sad to see a game have to shut down like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But, you know, as for what D.A.R.R.E.N stands for, I think it's actually the data analyzing robot for the extreme noobiness of noobs or something like that. Oh, it's the rock phone! What a rockin' tune for the rock phone!
Oh, the rock phone.
Yeah! Rock it out! Rock it! I can just pick it up. Hello, Barjo here speaking at the medieval times desk. Who may I ask is calling doth me?
Barjo, how art doth thou?
Doth thou art fancy?
Tis me, D.A.R.R.E.N.
Oh, it's Darren von Berkeley's.
Did thy just call me a noob?
Isn't that's what your name
Methinks
stands
he
for?
must have.
I think that's what your name actually stands for. It stands for the data analyzing robot for noobiness, right?
It actually stands for the data analyzing robot for the ruthless extermination of noobs.
Oh, that's why I always get that confused because you're such a noob sometimes. He's a bit touchy sometimes, isn't he? About that,
Yeah,
about
well,
his
that's his
Yeah,
name. You've
yeah.
got to get it right.
I feel a bit bad for hanging up on him now.
All right, well, let's move on to this one from Bronson in Bronnet Bay, New South Wales. That's on my rock computer.
Are you still there, Darren?
And for the record, Bajo, the word Gotham was invented in 1807 by Washington Irving, long after the Middle Ages had ended.
Oh, that's really
Batman
fascinating,
wouldn't have
Darren.
existed in the Middle Ages.
It's really
impossible.
interesting.
He makes
That's
a
really
valid
interesting.
point.
Were you around in the Middle Ages, Darren? You're pretty old, right?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Can you download TrackMania on PC for free? You sure can, Bronson. You can't play all of them for free, but you can get TrackMania Nations Forever. It's basically a limited version of TrackMania United Forever, but you still get a pretty decent chunk of game out of it for free.
Yeah, you only get access to the stadium environment, but you get a full solo career, online multiplayer, and access to the track editor, so it'll keep you busy for a while. But let's move right along to this one from Elle in Perth.
It's a nice rock computer here.
Thank you. I thought so. It's very difficult to see being a rock and all, but it does
Yeah.
it does the job.
Yeah. It's pretty retro.
Hey, Good Game SP, please, can you at least talk about Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise? Even for a minute, I just want to know what you think of it, please. Hex, you're awesome, and I love your hair. Bajo, you're a very funny looking penguin, and Darren, a robot.
I would agree with that. I am a funny looking penguin. Actually, Hex, could you please help me take this helmet off? It's got a bit stuck.
Why? Has your head gotten bigger, or has the helmet shrunk?
Just leave it on.
Okay, well, thanks for your question, Elle. We sure can talk about Viva Pinata. For those who don't know what it's about, it's what we call a life simulation game, and it's kind of like a mix between Animal Crossing, The Sims, Pokemon, and gardening. It wasn't even stuck.
Alright, come on, stuck. There's no real way to win the game. You're basically just trying to create a garden which will attract various species of pinata, which you can then breed and ship off to kids' parties. It's one of those surprisingly addictive little games that just draws you in. And every
Yeah.
time you get out, it pulls you back in.
Yeah, it's good relaxing fun designing your garden and trying to get bigger and better pinata to show up. And the co-op is great too. You can have 2 players locally team up on a garden, or get up to 4 of you over the internet for some hectic gardening action. But moving on now to this one from Unicorn in Melbourne, Victoria.
You know, one thing about chainmail here, and can you take this off? Help me to get this off for a sec. Can you tell me how to get really far in Clop, the horse version of Quop? Because I really want to get to the end. Thank.
I'm sorry to say there aren't really any simple tricks to getting through Clop. It's a very silly and quite tricky game. And to be honest, we still haven't mastered it ourselves and really managed to get to the end. So the only advice we could give is just to stick with it and keep trying, because really practice makes perfect.
Yeah, a decent technique. Oh, sorry, Darren. You still there?
Affirmative.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Hung up on him twice now. A decent technique, though, is to try and get into a good rhythm with your legs. I find to start off with, if you hit H and J together, then J and K together, you can get a good motion going. Oh, but that hill, Hex, I always get stuck on that hill.
Yeah, and I guess just try and take it slow and steady and do your best not to flip over onto your back, which is much easier said than done. But if any of you spawnlings manage to find a Clop technique that works well, then please write in and let us know. For now, though, let's move on to this one from Lincoln in Zeldaland, Western Australia. Hi GGSP, I just wanted to ask if there are any Demolition games on Xbox 360 and how to get Trials Evolution on Xbox 360. Thanks. P.S. Bago, you're the coolest gamer ever. PPS Hex, you have cool hair. PPS Darren is a noob. PPS I am your Bijust fan.
That was a lot of pee-pees.
It was.
So many pee-pees. That Bago sounds cool, though.
He
Sounds
does.
like a great cool guy.
He does sound like a cool guy.
Yeah.
All right, well, there are a couple, Lincoln. Dirt Showdown is probably the game that focuses the most on demolition. It's got some very destructive racing and a proper demolition derby mode to boot.
Other than that, you might want to check out Race Driver Grid. It's a more traditional racing game that has a decent destruction derby race mode. Also, you'll probably have some good fun with more destruction-oriented arcade races like Split Second Velocity or Ridge Race for Unbounded or the excellent Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
As for how you get Trials Evolution, well, there's a couple of ways to find it easily. First, you can just use a search tool and type in Trials and that'll bring it up. Or go to the Games tab on the dashboard, click on the Arcade button, and then go to the A to Z section and you'll find it under T for Trials. Right, well, moving on to this one from Solaire in Astor, outside Australia.
Can I have a look at this for a second? Can I just have a look? Can I have a look at this?
Yeah, just be careful with it, please. It's very expensive.
What are these pink things? These are weird.
Well, they're silencers, you know, for wilderness adventure.
Oh, right. Oh, that's why I can't hear anything here. Do you know I used to play the bow? Yeah.
How are you doing that?
Jamming. I used to be in a jazz bow band with D.A.R.R.E.N called the Jazzettes. We don't like to talk about it because we weren't very successful.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
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 Right, do you have like an album or something?
I was the front man, and D.A.R.R.E.N was...
You guys have been in so many musical acts.
backup singer. Yeah, future career. I don't think so. So has anyone on your team played Cave Story on the 3DS? Do the 3D effects make gameplay better, or will I just turn it off after a while? Praise the sun! Well, Solaire, we have checked out Cave Story on the 3DS, and we probably have to say no. The 3D doesn't improve the gameplay. And since it's a 2D platformer, having that sense of depth doesn't really affect the gameplay at all.
Something like Super Mario 3D Land, it can really help you get an idea of how far away the platforms are, so it can kind of be useful there, but by and large, 3D is purely a cool graphical effect and usually doesn't make any difference to gameplay.
No, but it is a nice effect in Cave Story anyway, so you might try it on for a little while.
Well, I think we have time for one more, so let's move on to this one from Naval Man 201102 in Chocoland, New South Wales. How do you score a goal on the FIFA games? P.S. I love you guys so much. So much. Oh, well, thanks, Naval Man. We love all of you spawnlings too. As for scoring goals in FIFA, well, the simple answer would be that you kick the ball past the goalkeeper and into the goal. But anyone who's played FIFA will know that that's much easier said than done.
Yes, it is a bit of an art form, and just like in real life, you shouldn't expect to get many goals in a game. It takes clever play, precise passing, and a nice chunk of luck to get that ball in the back of the net. There are a ton of techniques and tactics you can use, but the best way for you to really learn is just practice.
Yeah, before you start shooting for goals in a real match, we'd suggest spending a bit of time in the practice arena to get a feel for the power and timing of your shots.
The basics of taking a shot are pretty simple. On Xbox, you simply press the B button when you're near the goal, or the circle button on PlayStation. But there's a couple of ways to modify your shots. By holding right bumper or R1, you can take a finesse shot, which can make your shots much more accurate and put a bit of a curve into them.
Or you can hold left bumper or L1 to take a chip or a lob shot. You're more likely to miss these, but they can be good for getting over a goalie's head. And finally, some of the better players can take fancy shots by holding the left trigger or L2. And these will be your scissor kicks and diving headers, but these require the ball and player to be in fairly precise locations.
And then once you're feeling confident that you can at least outplay a lone goalie, it's time to try the real thing. And really half the battle is simply setting up a good clean run to the goal. Once there are a ton of defenders crowding around the goal, it becomes tricky to get a good shot in. But if you can break away from the pack, you stand a much better chance of getting one in the back of the net.
And remember to keep your cool. The worst thing you can do is panic when the pressure is on. When you get a shot at a goal, remember your training, get your power just right and your timing, and before you know it, you'll be kicking goals in all over the place. But on that note, we're out of time for this week, but if you'd like to ask us something, then you can do it here.
Right, back to the studio, Hex.
Oh, forsooth! Verily, we shall travel back to the studio. Right, let's go. Your helmet's on backwards. It's on... Do you want me to fix it? I can
Fine.
fix it for you.
Fine. Let me just clear up these rocks.
Ah, huzzah! The vision returns, swirling plumes of the spirits.
He's off with the fairies again, Hex.
What is it, wise one?
Ancient voices echo through the cauldron, vestiges of portent.
Right, well, I think I might sit this one out.
Ignoreth him, wise one. Go on with thy prophecy.
Welcome to Darren's Data Dump, the segment where I dump valuable gaming info directly into your brains. Today we're looking at one of the most compelling and frustrating gaming genres around, tower defense. While primitive tower defense games first came out in the 1980s, the genre only hit the mainstream recently with the arrival of browser-based gaming. In a tower defense game, you're in charge of defending a base from wave after wave of enemies, also known as creeps. To stop the creeps, you must build and upgrade weapons towers. It's a deceptively tricky challenge, as different types of enemies are weak to different types of towers. Spend too much money on the wrong towers, and it's game over. Effective players are masters of mazing. That's where you force the creeps to march through a labyrinth of towers, ensuring they spend as much time as possible tasting your lasers. Data dump complete.
Bajo? Huh? Marshmallow?
Okay.
On to the next review.
Well, it was lucky your magical vision was all about tower defense, Darren, because we've been sinking a lot of hours into one of the genre's best, Kingdom Rush. Take a look.
Freedom!
Yes, beneath these cute and cuddly cartoony visuals lurks some devious strategy. Waves of enemies will swarm towards you at a lightning pace, so any small lapse in judgment can easily mean game over.
Experienced strategists, like myself, are able to quickly adapt, though. By using ranged units like archers and magicians, you can soften up enemies as you lure them into a kill box, where they're trapped against your soldiers while heavy artillery rains down on them.
How cool is it that one of the upgrades for magicians is a spell that turns the enemy into sheep? I love that.
Ah, yes, the sorcerers are useful, but I prefer the arcane wizards. They've got lasers. Plus, their lasers can disintegrate and teleport enemies. It's pretty obvious that the developer based the wizards on me.
Yeah, Darren, that's totally what happened.
Yeah, I would say that's probably
absolutely.
accurate.
Well, this game has buckets of depth, doesn't it? The units, their placement, and selected upgrades seriously alter how much damage you deal out. After I got a bit of a feel for the game, my go-to strategy was prioritising upgrading artillery while keeping enemies off balance with my reserve troops.
Absolutely. One of the few units that are able to handle grounded and flying units are the artillery, so they're great. Look, I really enjoyed this. I think it's a must-play if you love tower defense games, and if you don't, this is a great one to try as your first. So I'm giving it 9 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 9 too.
Well, it's been great fun dressing up today, hasn't it?
It has, Hex, although this chainmail starts to chafe after a while.
Oh, the hot flames do lick with another vision.
Darren, as much as I enjoy your visions and stories, they're really fascinating. We actually have run out of time for this week.
They flicker and dance with the foreboding in a wind of change.
Okay, well, next week on the show, we're going to be collecting 1 million coins in New Super Mario Bros. 2.
The fruity mists of time, they are congealing.
Well, I'm looking forward to a new Mario game, Hex.
Another 3DS as well.
Hush, children. The ancient voices, they speak. Oh, hello, Darren. Oh, hello, Mumbot. Oh, don't forget, your Auntie Android's coming over for tea. Affirmative, Mumbot. Just give me some time to change. I'll be right over. Darren out.
Until next time, gamers, Hex out.
Bajo out.
You have an Auntie Android?
Yeah, just how many family members do you have, Darren?
In this star system, 4,096.
Whoa, that's a lot of Darren.
All right, well, who's up for some more marshmallows?
I would like to have 7, please.
Yeah, 7.
7
Okay, we'll
marshmallows.
see how many I can fit on this stick.
I bet I can fit 7 in my mouth at once.
Do you want some, Darren?
I bet I can eat them all.
I could laser them for you if you like.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.